Red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light.
Well, lads and lassies, first of all, grab yourself a pint and pull up a chair. But most importantly, she was the season 2 finale, but she's back here for season 4. The deadly one still reigns. Welcome back, Nightshade.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Nightshade, it is a pleasure to have you back here over a year ago as well, which is insane to think. Many things have happened within the wrestling world, but for yourself, what has, the journey been since last year for you?
I was lucky to have one of my favorite years in wrestling ever last year, but so far maybe this year is topping it, which coming into the year, I think when you always have such an amazing year, it's a bit difficult to think, oh, can I top it this year? But so far, I've been having the most amazing 2024, and I just cannot wait to see what happens with the rest of the year.
Hey, that's great to hear as well. But obviously, great things have happened for yourself, but wrestling as a whole, a year is a lot of time, and many things have happened within the wrestling world itself. I want to talk about those as well. One thing is, when you were on last time, I proposed the question of which faction you want to join, House of Black or the Judgment Day, and you chose the Judgment Day. Now, that faction's been through quite a fair bit since your last appearance. Damian Priest becoming the World Heavyweight Champion, obviously El Senior Money in the Bank as well. Rhea Ripley would gain the championship, have injury. Now she's back going after Dominic Mysterio because he's been a very, very naughty boy. Yeah. And we've seen Finn Balor as well, JD McDonough gaining the tag titles, and Carlito's joining in just for a little bit of coolness as well. So I want to get your thoughts, Nightshade, on Judgment Day's whole journey over the last year.
Yeah, I think it's been so much fun to watch. And obviously there's been certain obstacles such as Rhea Ripley getting injured, which is always very difficult to plan, and something totally unexpected when you are doing such a big storyline like this. But I think they've been rolling with the punches amazingly. I've loved Liv Morgan's involvement with Dominic. I think that has been so funny to watch, and I'm so excited to see where that's going to go and how that's going to build as well. So I just think it's been fantastic TV and great entertainment.
Truly has been as well. Definitely the internet's been all riled up, choosing Liv or Rhea. It's like the battle of Coke or Pepsi that we're in this modern age.
It literally is. You couldn't sum it up better than that, honestly.
Yeah, God, them internet comments, they definitely need a bit of hydration in themselves. But nonetheless, seeing where we're going to go from this, obviously Rhea Ripley returned on Raw, and things are very tense now. And we know as well we're coming up obviously with SummerSlam. Do you think we could see Liv and Rhea go at SummerSlam, or do you think maybe let this story play out a wee bit more and do another PLE down the line?
I think SummerSlam would be a good opportunity for it. SummerSlam is one of the bigger pay-per-views, and I think everyone is just desperate to see it happen. So let's give them what they want. Let's see them at SummerSlam going at it with lots of shenanigans.
Give the people what they want. But you mentioned shenanigans there as well. I think the main thing in this is, who will Dom choose? His mammy or his side chick, apparently. Will it be Liv or Rhea? Who do you think Dom should choose?
I think he should throw a spanner in the works and he should choose Liv. I know, controversial one. But do you know what? We've seen Rhea and Dom, for a long time on our screens, and I think it would just really spice it up.
Oh no, not the blondes, Nightshade. The blondes.
You don't agree? You're Rhea all day.
Well, I'm an impartial man myself. I ain't gonna get involved in another man's quarrels. I'll let that man fight his own battles. But then again, another member of the Judgment Day we've got coming up is Damian Priest against Gunther with his World Heavyweight Championship on the line. A lot of people have been surprised, myself included. Clash the Castle, I thought Drew was going to get the win, but a certain Chicago guy caused all this disruptions. It be. Do you think it is time for Damian Priest to lose the title, or do you think he really is coming to his own as a champion and should continue that reign and beating Gunther?
It's a difficult one because I'm a huge Gunther fan. Of course, I followed him on the independent circuit before he made it to the WWE, and I was a huge Walter fan and all of his work in WXW and Progress. But so I would really like to see him get the win, However, I think Damian Priest is an incredible performer. I think he's got so much charisma. I think his look is something really, I think he looks really special. And I do feel as though every show he comes more and more into himself. And you can see how much he enjoys it and how much he loves it. And I'm really enjoying seeing that, and I'm really enjoying his title reign. So on that one, I'm a bit conflicted.
Conflictions. You never know what answer you want to go with. But as well as we've seen with Damian Priest, there's going to be a bit more insight to his life story with the WWE 24 documentary coming out on him just before SummerSlam. And I like those documentaries because we get to see and more insight to a wrestler and themselves, their journey and everything. Do you think people who may be on the fence with Damian Priest can easily be swayed when this documentary drops on his career?
I think so. Yeah, I definitely think so. I think when people understand the hard work and the dedication he's put into wrestling, he's been wrestling for a long, long time before joining the WWE, and this really is his biggest dream. And I think when you watch a documentary like that, getting into detail about his life and what he's gone through in the wrestling business, I think it's bound to get a couple more people on side.
I'm truly excited to see for that. More documentaries, please, WWE. I can binge those with a couple of bevy drinks. So please just give me more of what I need. I just need some more documentaries.
Yes, absolutely. They're so much fun and they're so entertaining. And it's so nice to have that more real connection between the performer and the character. You really get to dive deep into who they are as a person, and that kind of personability is really, really important, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, I would love to see a documentary, WWE 24 style, on DIY or something like that. But is there any maybe wrestlers you would like to see have that 24 style documentary, Nightshade?
Oh, I'd love to just see more girls being focused. I would love to see the journeys of, say Rhea Ripley or Liv Morgan, or I think a lot of the girls being focused would be amazing.
Absolutely. Even, Roxanne Perez in NXT, like her journey as well is quite phenomenal in itself. So that would be absolutely smashing to see. Always well, Nightshade, Money in the Bank just happened, but last year's Money in the Bank first happened in London. It was an extraordinary experience to happen here. They've had Clash of the Castle here in Scotland. So I want to know from yourself, obviously, performing in the UK, being a British wrestler, what does it mean to you to see WWE bringing more PLEs to the UK shores?
Oh, it's so amazing. It's so amazing to get that big fan base here and to really be able to celebrate what we love, which is wrestling. And for a long time, we didn't have pay-per-views and we didn't have these big shows in England. So to be able to have that, to be able to go to that is, I can imagine, an atmosphere unlike anything other. Unfortunately, I couldn't make Money in the Bank or either Clash of the Castles. So I was really, really upset by that. But I can just imagine that the atmosphere was incredible. And I think it's amazing. And I really do hope that we will get WrestleMania.
Yeah, absolutely. They were absolutely fun events, even if I did go trending because I swore at CM Punk as he was coming up the aisle, but trending nonetheless. Yeah, please don't kill me, internet. Look, it was
That's what we'd like to see.
Tequila, bad mix. But you mentioned
good mix.
Depending on the night time and what after events happen is a good time. But you don't remember afterwards, and you wake up and think, "Oh, I'm 20 quid shorter," and someone's texting me. That's not a good after effect. But you also mentioned WrestleMania in the UK, and a lot of people do want that, myself included, obviously. Preferably in Scotland, so I don't have to travel 8 hours by train. But if we couldn't get a WrestleMania, what other PLE from WWE would you really want to see come to the UK?
I would love to see a Royal Rumble. I think the Rumble is such a special pay-per-view. I absolutely love the Royal Rumble. And every year I anticipate the surprises. And I think who's going to be next? How are they going to top it from some of my favorite years? And I think a Royal Rumble in the UK would just be incredible.
It truly would be incredible as well. And it's fun you mentioned that as well, because obviously SummerSlam in 2025 is going to be a 2-night event. And it seems like maybe 2-night events for their big 4 pay-per-views is going to be a common thing. So obviously a Royal Rumble as a 2-night event would be very, fantastic as well. You could have the women's main event night 1 and then the men's main event night 2, allow the Rumbles for each individuals to main event each night. These 2-night pay-per-views, Nightshade, do you think they're going to be truly beneficial to not only just the fans, but to the wrestlers to be able to get on the card?
Absolutely. I think it just gives more opportunities and more time for everybody, which is a great thing. I don't think there's anything bad about the 2-night pay-per-views. It's just, the fans having to stay up and dedicate a bit more time to watching them, or traveling to the arena 2 nights, which I know can be difficult logistically. But I think having them spread over 2 nights, it makes it a more enjoyable viewing experience. I think, keeping it slightly shorter but spreading it over the 2 days, for me personally, is a lot more of an enjoyable viewing experience. So I think it's great to be able to give those storylines and give those big matches the time that they do deserve. And that's a lot more likely to happen spread over 2 nights and 2 events.
Absolutely true indeed. And obviously, we did touch upon Money in the Bank in England last year, and a certain You Can't See Me man came out and did the whole WrestleMania UK promise. But this year, Money in the Bank, he's announced that he is finishing up. He's retiring. John Cena has announced that next year will be his final in-ring year for the WWE. It's fascinating for me, obviously, because I got into wrestling in 2019, but seeing a lot of people who grew up the Attitude Era John Cena, they remember the Dr. Thugonomics, they remember him introducing the spinner belt, and now this is it, the final story for him. Nightshade, seeing John Cena retire next year, how do you think that will be impactful to wrestling fans worldwide?
I think it's going to make wrestling fans that perhaps have been, or once upon a time were, diehard John Cena fans, and that have maybe slipped off the slope of wrestling. It is difficult at times to keep up with the amount of wrestling that there is out there. But I think it's actually going to be really great for the fans and for everyone involved in wrestling, because hopefully some people will come back to watch John Cena's retirement, and they'll think, why did I ever stop watching this? I need to relight the wrestling fire, and hopefully it will get a lot more people interested and involved. And it's already got so much hype online that this is John Cena's final retirement run. So I think, hopefully everybody that will really want to give him a good farewell will be able to.
Yeah, absolutely. A legendary man and wrestler in himself. But the big questions are running around now. Who will be his final opponent? Now, I'm not going to propose that question to you, actually. What I am going to propose to you is, which 2 wrestlers from John Cena's past would you like to see him have a match against? And which 2 current WWE stars would you like to see John Cena have a match with?
Oh, such a good question. See, it's difficult because a lot of the wrestlers I really enjoyed him wrestling back in the day are now retired. So it's just impossible for them to have a match. And of course, once you do retire and your body is so broken from the wrestling, you're not able to put on those sort of quality matches anymore. But I was always a huge, huge Undertaker fan, and I absolutely loved his streak. So I think John Cena versus Undertaker is just, one of the ones. I also absolutely loved Batista.
Oh, okay.
Loved Batista, and I think it's great to have a bit more. They have in a way, a similar wrestling style. I know there's obviously lots of differences, but I think John Cena versus Batista. I think Batista and Undertaker are my 2 ones. They were really special to me at the time, and when I first started watching wrestling, it was John Cena on the TV every single week. So I have a real connection to John Cena. And I am so sad to see his retirement. I'm not surprised, and I think he's doing it in the best way possible, doing a whole retirement tour, being able to be truly celebrated. Hopefully he'll be able to have some of his dream matches. So I think that would be really awesome.
Truly indeed. And I want to know as well, obviously, there's a lot of now young stars like Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker that are up there now. Is there maybe someone from the youthful generation you'd like to see go against Cena?
See, for me, it's not so youthful, but I would really like to see Cody Rhodes and John Cena.
Okay.
I think that would be, Cody's just had such an incredible run with the WWE, and I think he's doing amazingly, and I would really enjoy to see that. And I think it's controversial one, but I'm a Roman Reigns supporter. I just think he's so great. I think he's so funny. Honestly, I love everything about Roman Reigns, and I do not think he deserves the stick that he gets. I think he looks incredible. I think he's a good wrestler. I'm captivated when I watch him. So I think that would be very interesting booking to see the retiring John Cena against the unstoppable Roman Reigns.
Oh, fair play indeed. Now, also, you mentioned being unstoppable, but that wasn't the events of night 2 of WrestleMania 40, because he got a bit stalked by the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes himself. And it's funny you mentioned that. When we chatted last time, I don't believe WrestleMania 39 had happened yet, which is kind of crazy to think about. And now that happened, the shocking upset, the whole journey that finished the story, even if The Rock got in a wee bit and tried to do the Cody Crybaby situation. We then got WrestleMania 40, and Cody finished this story. Nightshade, what are your thoughts on Roman Reigns' whole journey from that WrestleMania 39 experience in LA to Philadelphia with WrestleMania 40?
Honestly, I love the way it played out. I was secretly hoping at WrestleMania 39 that Cody didn't win. And I know everyone was behind Cody and really wanting him, but I was honestly really pleased with the way that it turned out. I thought there's no better way to build a big storyline like that, and I'm so glad that they waited until the following WrestleMania. I did think, I really hoped that he wasn't to lose it and Cody get his big win on another pay-per-view. I'm really glad that it was waited for WrestleMania and that we did have that time to just build. And by the time it was WrestleMania 40, I couldn't wait for Cody to go out there. And I was so desperate for him to get that win over Roman Reigns, which he did. So I thought it was fantastic storytelling. It really got people's emotions. You know, sometimes you do have to piss people off a little bit to get that big celebration and that big win, just like Cody did. And the celebration afterwards was so heartwarming. You know, seeing some of his best friends and people come into the ring to celebrate with him was really an incredible moment. And I'm just so happy that he was able to have that moment.
Truly was an enjoyable and heartwarming moment as well. Now, obviously, Roman Reigns has been gone since then, and the bloodline's taken a new form. You know, the wise man Paul Heyman's been taken out by Solo Sikoa. You know, Guerrillas of Destiny are now in it, Jacob Fatu. And it's this new form of the bloodline. Now, actually, where do you think this new form of the bloodline could go? Do you think maybe The Rock will come in and be involved? Do you think Solo's going to dethrone Cody? Or will Roman Reigns come back and take rightful charge of his table?
I'm honestly not sure. I can see it going many different ways. I think The Rock is hard to track down to commit to dates and to storylines. So I think it's probably more realistic that he'll just be in for big appearances such as WrestleMania or the pay-per-views. But honestly, I'm really not sure where the Bloodline are going to go. And I think that's what makes it an exciting storyline, because there are so many potentials and so many possibilities.
True indeed. And obviously The Rock had his People Championship that he let Cody touch in a very weird segment, but digress. Now, things might be happening at Mania. Would it be Rock and Cody, or is it going to be Rock and Roman? What do you think, Nightshade, should The Rock's plan be if he could attend WrestleMania 41?
Oh, I think Rock and Roman would be really great. I think it would be really interesting, especially with all of that history there. I think that would be a really great match.
Oh, well, Vegas will definitely be lit up for sure with that kind of clash of titans as well. But obviously, coming back to the UK and ourselves, our scene has been thriving. You know, many great companies have now started up since you've left the period. I mean, companies are just thriving in general, but there was a big buzz atmosphere because obviously AEW came with All In for Wembley Stadium last year, and it felt like that WrestleMania environment. So many shows being put on that people could attend and see wrestlers within the UK scene. Next, I just wonder your thoughts in general of like the atmosphere that was around London when AEW All In was here.
Yeah, it looked absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, I wasn't here because I was in Japan on a tour. And the whole everything that I had to reschedule for my Japan tour, I was like, I'm just so excited to go back to Japan. It's one of my absolute all-time favorite places to wrestle. But that weekend was the one weekend I really had FOMO. I had the fear of missing out. I was seeing all of my friends, all of my fellow colleagues, all of my wrestlers going to these incredible shows, having such a booked and busy schedule that weekend, also getting to attend AEW. You know, we also had some cameos backstage and involved in AEW with some of our fellow indie wrestlers, which I was just so happy to see my friends on. So unfortunately, I did miss that atmosphere, and I really missed the buzz. I really did. But it seemed like the most amazing time, and I cannot wait for round 2 this summer in August. There's already so many great indie shows that have been announced for that weekend that should be really big, incredible shows. And then, of course, we have the AEW coming back to Wembley, which I'm just so excited for.
Absolutely as well. But obviously, before we will touch upon AEW All In this year, you mentioned Japan and your love for it as well. I know when you last time we talked about Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling as well. There's obviously Stardom, but another startup, Marigold, has now started up there in Japan as well. I just want to get your thoughts on that, obviously, Nightshade and Marigold. Is that maybe something on your radar?
Well, you know, we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, we'll have to wait and see. You know, I feel very lucky that I have been on tours with Tokyo Joshi, and I also last summer went on a tour with Marvelous for the first time. So when it comes to Japan, you know, I have some lovely links, and I'm really happy and proud to represent the companies that I have already worked for. And, you know, I'd love to just go back to Japan in general. But, you know, that's not to say that I won't be working for anybody else. So, you know, I'm a free agent. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens, really.
Hey, fair play indeed, fair play indeed. Now, obviously, Japanese female wrestlers have actually been showcased very well in the States. Obviously, with Forbidden Door, Toni Storm versus Shiina Mirakawa, an exceptional match with Mariah May being caught in the middle between. There was that whole freeway kiss that Nigel McGuinness was crying at commentary for a guy. Just to see Japanese female wrestlers being represented on a big stage like that with AEW. I know Julia as well is going to go to NXT. How does that mean to you, Nightshade, also being such a fan for Japanese wrestling and getting to wrestle over there, to see these girls get showcased on a big American platform?
It makes me so happy. And I think it's been something that hasn't been a real strong representation. You know, we've had a few Joshi wrestlers in the biggest companies, but to have more is just so amazing, because in my opinion, it really is the best wrestling in the world over in Japan. And I'm so excited to see the girls that have worked so hard for so many years get what they deserve. Like Mina Shirakawa, for example. I met her on my first ever tour at Tokyo Joshi in 2019, and I actually wrestled her on that tour. And she was amazing and a star then, but the way that she's just skyrocketed into professional wrestling stardom, and to see her on those AEW shows and in this big storyline just makes me so happy. And she absolutely deserves the world, as do all of the Japanese wrestlers, in my opinion. Their work ethic is unmatched, and I think the talent that they have is just incredible.
Absolutely, truly indeed. And her theme as well is a banger. It's definitely a bit of a club beat, if I say so myself, the whole Venus. I'm no dancing. I'm no drunk enough for that. So, and it's also
Oh,
it's 11:30 in the morning. Come on.
I know you've practiced the dance. I know you've tried it at least once.
Whoa. Accusations. Look, I know this is a long coat and it might represent the gown, but look, come on now. Look, I got to keep this in nice, pristine, and no dance moves is going to disrupt this suit. But as well, we've seen that Japanese wrestling is going to have a big thing going on. Obviously, Wrestle Kingdom will be happening, but Wrestle Dynasty, Ring of Honor, Stardom, CMLL, New Japan, and AEW all coming together for a show in the Tokyo Dome. Nightshade, I want to know, is there any particular wrestlers from any of these companies that you would love to see showcased at Wrestle Dynasty?
Oh, honestly, there's too many. There's just too many to answer. I always really struggle with like favorites, and I just want everybody to be able, as many people as possible, to be able to have their moments.
Hey, very true indeed. I think it will be an exceptional show in itself. But obviously, Japanese wrestling as well, there's been a very big flux in it as well. Obviously, Okada surprisingly leaving New Japan and going to AEW, now being a part of the Elite. Will Ospreay departing as well and being a part of AEW. But I think with that, it allows, maybe some talent from other countries to come over for that Japanese style and elevate themselves and be influential to that, style of wrestling. And actually, do you think Japanese wrestling in 2024 could really be an ascension of a new age?
Absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely do. And I think there's already so many eyes on the Japanese scene, but I think the more eyes, the better, especially from other countries and not just Japan's home. If more UK viewership, more American viewers, I think honestly, Japan really is just such an incredible scene for wrestling that people should not be missing out on.
No, I'm sure people will definitely be keeping their eye on that scene indeed. Now, obviously, actually, we got to come back to yourself as well, because only those year period, you've done quite a few exceptional things in yourself. And one of them I definitely have to talk about is being featured in the PWI magazine.
Yes.
I mean, you're literally on the contents page right next to the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes.
I know. It's so crazy. I actually have a copy here.
Oh.
So this is a UK exclusive. It's going to be the August copy in the UK.
Oh, exclusive! Wow, I need a signed copy now from my studio. Now that's an exceptional thing to see. I mean, wow. I mean, how did you first know about this? Did PWI contact you, or did you just see a copy and be like, oh crap, it's me?
So I was featured in the top list last year, and it was my first ever time making the top countdown. And every single year I would, see the countdown on Twitter, I'd see where people had placed, and I'd be so happy for everyone. But of course, you think, oh, I really want that to be me one day. Like, it was always one of my big goals to be featured in PWI. I followed them for years, and it has such a prestige. It really does, and there's so many viewers, and it's such an incredible magazine and an incredible organization. So to be featured last year and to make it at 128th place as my first year being placed was really a shock to me. Honestly, I had no idea I was going to be in there. I've never reached out to them. I've never, I've always just sat and silently hoped that one day I would be in there. So to wake up that morning and, I was checking all the Twitter, and I was having a nice little scroll, and I don't have notifications on my social media apps. So I don't have notifications on Twitter or Instagram. So I was actually just scrolling on my timeline, seeing what everybody else had placed before even clicking my notifications button. I was thinking, oh, I'm so happy for all these girls and guys, of course. And then I clicked my notifications tab, and I was in the PWI list at 128. And I just couldn't believe it. And a thank you so much to everyone as well on Twitter that did bring it to my attention, because that is how I saw it for the first time. And I was just so happy. I literally couldn't believe it. I had to explain to my family what a big deal this was for me and how much this was one of my personal goals. And, I was so happy to make the list. And I had a little photo shoot on my Instagram with one of my amazing photographers, Dale Brody. And we had a little cupcake, and we had like 128 in sparkling candles. And we had like confetti coming down, because I just really wanted to have something to celebrate that moment. I do hope that hopefully throughout the years I can climb higher, and I can, get even more opportunities and do better. And I'm always trying to do better and be a better wrestler and performer. but I really wanted to celebrate that moment and have that photo shoot in my little 128th place. So I was just over the moon to even be in the list, honestly. And then the new year rolled around and I got a DM from the PWI themselves and asked if they could feature me on their One to Watch. So I just couldn't believe it. I was so happy. And they were kind enough to send me a copy of the physical magazine, which is out in newsstands in America and Canada. It came out, I believe, on the 28th of May. But it will be coming out in newsstands and WH Smiths and shops for August. I will be the August issue.
Setting reminder for August.
Yes.
I'll get a copy. I'll have it up in the studio, and it'll be a nice centerpiece to have to celebrate the achievements you've done. So honestly, Nightshade, congratulations for your place.
Oh, thank you so much. And anyone on my Patreon, if this does interest you, or if you have been thinking of joining the Patreon, I'm actually going to do a signed giveaway of my copy.
Oh,
so I'm going to be doing a signed giveaway on my Patreon because I appreciate the support so much. You know, I have Patreon members that have been on my platform since the day it was created, and I really appreciate every single one of you so much. So you will have a chance to enter to win the signed copy, and you'll be able to see my entire story and have it signed and even personalized if you would like. That's totally up to the winner.
Well. Fans, definitely keep your eye out for when that gets announced and get over to that Patreon, because that would be something you want for your wrestling collection. And it's funny you mentioned wrestling collections, Nightshade. We've seen a real boom in that, and I think that's due to the WWE Most Wanted Treasures, which was going about people's gears from the past. Like they were doing stuff on like Ric Flair's robes and Dusty Rhodes trunks from back in the day. I wanted to get your thoughts on that, because obviously in this modern day and age, there's a lot of people sought after that gear. How do you feel about, you know, if like maybe in the year's time or even now, fans like owning parts of your gear? Because I know gear is very sentimental to wrestlers. You know, you make memories and bonds with them, and I'm parting with that. So what's your thoughts on like gear collecting?
I think it's amazing memorabilia to have, and I think like what a better way to support your favorite wrestlers than to buy something so important to them as wrestling gear, you know, that you can see in photographs from incredible live events, that you know you can get pictures and memorabilia of, and every single time you see that outfit, you just think about their career path. I think it's an amazing way to celebrate somebody's career and somebody's journey. And I've personally actually sold several pieces of my gear in the past. So I don't believe I have any original Nightshade gear. I think I've sold it all. And even though it is really special to me, I think I love being able to give that opportunity to somebody else that is just going to love it, and it goes to a new home where it's going to be appreciated. Because even though I think about it so fondly, I have those memories and I've like lived through that. And I think if I can sell it to a better home and someone that's going to really make them happy, then I'm all for that. I know one of my people that have bought it, it's like framed, and I think that's just like the coolest thing, you know.
Wow, that does remind. I need to get Mark Andrews' gear like framed soon enough before it's just hiding away in a cupboard somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. Get it framed and get it up on the wall.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark will come back and try and take it off me if I don't do something with it soon enough. But nonetheless, digressing there. One place that you really made a home for yourself in the UK, obviously, is Pro Wrestling Eve. And, you know, I've had Janaya Kai, when she was on the show, saying she wanted to really come over and experience that, which she ended up doing in 2 matches at Eve. To now see what Eve has evolved with, and obviously people in Scotland, like Daisy Jenkins, just came down to experience it. What does it mean for you to see Eve be really a beacon of women's wrestling here in the UK?
It's just incredible, and it makes me so happy. I've followed Pro Wrestling Eve since the first day they ever became a wrestling company. So to see them they were such a vital part, in my opinion, of the women's wrestling boom. And they gave us that platform to really showcase women's wrestling. And instead of it being one match on a card on a show with 7 other men's matches. You know, they gave us importance and they really gave us that time and that energy and that platform. And I think I'll forever be grateful for that. Pro Wrestling Eve is one of my favorite places to work. You know, they have such an incredible roster of wrestlers and such an amazing, amazing fan base as well.
Yeah, truly indeed. And obviously, you know, you're saying they're being there from day one. You're now currently the tag champions with Skye Smitson as well. So to have that tag title and represent that company that you followed since day one, what does it mean to you?
Honestly, it was a real moment for me winning that tag team championship. I actually have it here.
Hey!
There
How much?
we are. We've got the Eve belt.
Nightshade, I've got 20 quid and styrofoam. How much?
No, never, ever. But honestly, winning this belt just really meant the world to me. I cannot believe, looking back, I can't believe I was sat in Pro Wrestling Eve's audience for their first ever show. And now I am one of their champions with my best friend in wrestling, Skye Smitson. I think we just gel so much as a tag team, and she's really been able to bring out the light-hearted, fun side of Nightshade, which is not easy to do whatsoever. So the fact that we actually beat the Royal Aces to become tag team champions is something I will literally remember forever. And it's something that I just feel so happy and grateful for. And I can't wait to see where our journey goes. I know we've already had it for a good little while now, but I literally am going to do my best to make sure we never ever lose it.
Oh, well, fair play.
I want to be tag team champions for like 900 days. Honestly, like I want to be retiring with that championship.
Well, I mean, you are currently on day 125, so I mean, only a couple more. See, I do my research, folks. I ain't just, you know,
125 today.
Today is 125.
Oh my gosh! I'm right. Me and Skye, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to do a social media post. 125 days.
See, do my research. I know my stuff half the time.
But the thing is, even though we have been tag team champions for 125 days now, I still feel like there is so much to offer from Team SAS, Strong and Sexy, which is myself and Skye Smitson. I feel every single match we have together, we gel even more as competitors, and I feel like it's in my opinion, it's far from stagnant. I feel like we're a really exciting team, and the fact that she is bringing such a different persona out of me, you know, now I used to take it so seriously and be so serious and just ready to destroy everyone at Eve. But with Skye Smitson by my side, I feel as though I'm able to just really enjoy that moment more and really feed off the crowd's energy, and having them cheer for us is a really amazing feeling. So I feel like we definitely have a lot more to offer and a lot more of us to give into this tag team division and into these tag team titles, and we're never going to break up. So anybody there thinking about us turning on each other, we are best friends. We're never breaking up, okay?
So. You've heard it here, folks. Because it seems like Skye can really bring the light out of Nightshade, like a lamp. Some say. You know? I mean, I think that perfectly segues into Lampshade, Nightshade. Please tell me what. And folks probably aren't aware of all this. What? You've got the Lampshade merch on. I respect it.
I have. I usually always wear the Nightshade merch, but I thought second appearance, I thought I'd treat you to the Lampshade.
I am blessed. Thank you very much. But obviously, there might be some viewers are thinking, what are these two on about? Are they going cuckoo? Tell us, and the folks who may not be familiar, what is Lampshade?
Quite honestly, I think we have gone cuckoo. So ever since I started wrestling, people decided to berate me and chant Lampshade at me, thinking they were funny, thinking they're cool. I mean, they still do it almost every single time I'm anywhere. And I will debut for a new company. I'll be like, no Lampshade chants. It's just me. They've never seen me before. I get there and there's someone chanting Lampshade. So do you know what? I decided to embrace my Nightshade's alter ego of Lampshade, and I decided to make my own Lampshade merch, which is actually a black and white copy of my Nightshade t-shirt. So it's like you can really choose to be Team Lampshade or Team Nightshade, or you can buy them both, you know. I was also Lampshade. Lampshade has had her first ever wrestling match. She was in Pro Wrestling Eve's Multiverse Rumble. And guys, Lampshade's undefeated. She won the whole thing. I think all of the other opponents didn't realise that she was an alive Lampshade. And thankfully, Lampshade didn't get any slack. She just sailed straight through. And yeah, Lampshade is currently undefeated. So she actually is the winner of the Multiverse Rumble.
Ooh, I mean, does that mean Lampshade gets a title shot now for the Pro Wrestling Eve Championship? I mean,
I don't think so. I think it's just some alternate universe bit of a laugh. You know, I don't think there's any credibility there, unfortunately.
I don't know. I think that'd be a fun match. Come on now.
I think it would be a fun match.
You gotta love it, and that's the fun with pro wrestling. At the end of the day, it gets you fun, amazing moments, but the bonds you build with it is special as well. I know we've two people have retired here in the UK scene. Charlie Morgan and Jetta. You know, was it Pro Wrestling Eve that they finished up in, if I'm correct?
Yeah.
I've seen these women being focused on previous guests' Instagram page and just seeing how special and talented they are. And I know yourself, Nightshade. What did it mean for you to get to celebrate Charlie and Jetta's, final in-ring appearance?
It meant a lot for me in general that I'm even in the place to celebrate their final in-ring appearance. Jetta was one of the first British wrestlers, especially British female wrestlers, on the independent circuit that I ever discovered. I fell in love with her on Shimmer. I watched the Shimmer wrestling from Volume 1. I used to collect all of the DVDs. And when I was a teenager and I first fell in love with wrestling, she was on there from the very beginning as Coventry's loudest Jetta. And seeing her on those Shimmer appearances made me think, oh my gosh, there's a place for British wrestlers. And it just opened my eyes to how much is achievable. And she was such an inspiration to Little Nightshade. She really was such an incredible wrestler, and I loved that she always had something to say at every opportunity. And I really, really looked up to her. I really looked up to her in my early days. Before I even started training, this was as well. So before I even became a wrestler. So the fact that I'm actually able to call Jetta and Charlie Morgan a friend is really just an amazing, amazing place to be. And they are such wonderful, wonderful girls. They're so incredibly talented. Charlie Morgan as well, I actually discovered her. She's going to hate me for saying this, but I actually discovered her as Penelope. I've been there since the Penelope days as an onlooker and as a supporter. So to actually be there for their last ever wrestling match, for their retirement celebration, it was a bit of a surreal moment for me. And I think, I saw them so often, it just became normal. But when I actually sit down and I think about who these two people are and how they helped to shape me and how they helped to shape Nightshade, it's really, really special. So I was so happy that I was able to be there for their retirement. I would never have missed it for the world. And we went out afterwards and we all celebrated, and a lot of us booked the following day off. And we all went round painting the town red in London. given them the best send-off we possibly could have. And I was just so happy to be invited, but also so happy to hopefully make their moment a little bit more special.
I can see the Instagram post and just see smiles all around. So I think it was done. You all had a good time, and to send these women off in the best way, you all kind of think you did that. Truly, it's special to see Nightshade. Now, obviously, as well, other companies here in the UK, one that you kind of were gone for a wee bit, now return to Rev Pro, making you return to Rev Pro. And funny enough, you're the season 2 finale guest. Dani Luna was the season 3 finale guest. So technically, you know, season 2 and season 3 have crossed over in one way or another. You've faced off against Dani. You know, you didn't come out the champion, but what does it mean to you to return to Rev Pro at that moment and then face Dani for the title?
It meant a lot to me. I have always watched Rev Pro so fondly. You know, they are one of the best companies in Europe. They produce incredible shows, incredible wrestling, and they are just the top. So to be able to return and actually be heavily featured and heavily involved, having that championship match was a big deal to me. And, you know, it wasn't my time, unfortunately, but I think, you know, it might be in my future, and I'm going to try my absolute best. You know, Nightshade's not going to let it go. So, you know, hopefully one day I will be stood there with that championship belt. But it was an incredible moment being able to wrestle Dani Luna. She's such a great wrestler and a great athlete. And she has so much charisma out there. I think it's difficult. It doesn't even come across on the clips and when you watch her on TV of TNA or online. In real life, I mean, everything's better in real life, but in real life, she just has so much charisma, and you just can't look away from her. So to be in the ring against her was a really great moment, and it was really special to me. And I believe that was our first ever singles match as well.
Wow, hey, fair play. And, you know, Dani is a tag team Spitfire, former TNA Knockouts champion. Maybe Operation SAS versus Spitfire.
Yes, absolutely. Let's go.
That would be fun indeed. But obviously, another person you faced in your Rev Pro return, kind of a Netflix star featuring on the wrestlers, Hollywood Haley J. And that opportunity to face Haley, somebody who's featured on a big platform like Netflix with the Wrestler series and OVW as well. How was that? Was that quite an experience?
It really was. I always love the opportunity to wrestle somebody that I've not met before. You know, it's really fun and exciting for me to be able to meet new people and to be able to wrestle people that are trained slightly differently, and to wrestle people that I've not wrestled before is always so much fun. And I love having first time matchups. So it was really great to meet little Hollywood Haley J. She absolutely lives up to the gimmick. She is just Haley J inside and outside of that ring. And it was a pleasure to meet her, pleasure to wrestle her. You know, unfortunately, things again didn't go my way, but that was solely because of the Cutthroat Collective trying to help me out when in fact they had bad intentions.
Yes, let's get on to that, shall we? The Cutthroat Collective, Alex Windsor, Lizzie Evo, Mercedes Blaze, Nina Samuels, and Sapphire Reed. Boy, oh boy, yeah, they try to really do a number on you. Alex Windsor appearing out, and then the whole collective just laying you out in the ring and everything. This Cutthroat Collective, Nightshade, I mean, I got to know your plans for going after these lassies.
Do you know, they will get what's coming to them. They really have. They have made an enemy with the wrong person. It's not how they have acted. They're gonna get their revenge, and I'm picking my time. I'm gonna wait, and they're gonna get what's coming to them, because honestly, their actions in Stevenage, Alex Windsor putting me through a table, they have made the wrong sort of enemy. So I'm picking my moment. I'm waiting, but there absolutely will be carnage for the Cutthroat Collective. And booting me out of the team is the worst mistake they have ever made.
Well, Nightshade. I mean, might even be a bit of a war, because I know you featured in a War Games match in the past, and we have an anniversary show for Rev Pro coming up before AEW All In. So let's put the fantasy cap on. Alex Windsor's got 4 members. You need to find 4 lassies for a War Games match at Rev Pro Anniversary. Which other lassies would you have in a War Games match against the Cutthroat Collective?
I think people that have proved themselves against the Cutthroat Collective members, we've got Rio.
Okay.
We've got Kanji.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, already a great. We've got up and comer Lucia Lee. She's been featuring a lot in Rev Pro. You know, she's been doing a lot of training with Rev Pro, and she's starting to understand these girls in the Cutthroat Collective. You know, every match that they're having against each other, people are getting wiser and wiser to their tricks.
Mm.
And I think also, who else should we go for?
Maybe you could bring Skye in, your tag team partner from Even, for one. I
would love to bring Skye in, because Skye has always got my back, honestly. And I think that would be a great turn of events.
If that War Games match just happened at Anniversary before All In, I'm going to be there at the show. Screw it, I'll have tequila and a lamp on my head just in support and just being there in the crowd. So
I'll hold you to it.
If the match graphic comes up, you'll see on the Instagram story of just a lamp, and you know that I'm planning things and coming for that. So I
will hold you to it.
You can hold me to it, Nightshade. You can hold me to it. Now,
okay.
Truly phenomenal stuff with Rev Pro as well. But another company that I hear about from a lot of guests that's coming back, World of Sports, WOS Wrestling. And when I saw like this was coming back, and then I saw the talent being announced, and then I saw you, I was like, oh wow, that's somebody I know coming for this. This is very interesting for World of Sports. It is a company with a lot of history here for UK fans, especially. What does it mean for you, Nightshade, and how did the opportunity come about to be featured with this new incarnation of World of Sport?
It means everything that I'm going to be featured in WOS The Return. It's been a company that obviously it's got such a huge legacy. Everybody knows World of Sport. You know, the first reaction I get from people, especially with a little bit of the older generation, when I tell them, oh, I'm a female wrestler, I'm a wrestler, they will always say to me, oh, I remember watching World of Sport on a Saturday afternoon. I remember watching Giant Haystacks. And that is, without a doubt, the most frequent response I get when I tell people I'm a wrestler in the UK. So the fact that I'm going to be working for a brand with so much history and such a huge legacy is just amazing. It's actually bucket list stuff that I didn't think I would have that opportunity to do. I wasn't involved in the first World of Sport WOS reboot, and I was not aware that it was going to be coming back until I got that call to be a part of it. So it's taken me by surprise as much as it's taken some of you guys. And I just know that everybody that is involved, it's going to be a phenomenal show. We've got the tapings and the live show on September 14th at Epic Studios in Norwich. And I think everybody that can come over and make it really is one not to be missed, because we are going to make it the most incredible return we possibly can. And we're going to see where that takes us, and hopefully it will just boom and skyrocket from there.
Well, you've heard it here, folks. You've been ordered to by the Deadly One, so get your tickets and get your train ride ready for that amazing taping as well. And actually, I know you're also holding another championship for a company that's actually going to be taking hiatus next year, Pro Wrestling East. From first of all, two questions obviously in relation to that. Your thoughts on the company taking a hiatus for 2025 and your role as women champion for the company with a hiatus. What was it your plans to do as champion? Will you vacate the belt until the company returns? Or are you going to just hold on to it? Or is there a plan put in place that you can reveal?
Honestly, in regards to being their current women's champion, I am not sure what the proceedings will be moving forward. That's a conversation I will have to have with them nearer the time. So I'm really not entirely sure what to expect there. And we do have two more shows, 2 more events until the end and until the hiatus. But of course, I'm still going to be that women's champion. Like, why am I even suggesting that? But Pro Wrestling East has been a really, really special place for me. I feel as though I've really been able to shine there. It's such an amazing mix of people backstage, and everyone is so genuinely supportive there, and it's just been a really, really special environment. I've been able to wrestle some of my dream matches, for example, wrestling Charlie Morgan for the Pro Wrestling East Championship. When I won the Pro Wrestling East Championship, that was a dream match of mine, and to be able to have that in front of the fans at Pro Wrestling East, where I've created such a connection there, was really special. And I think their shows have been incredible. I'm really sad to hear about the hiatus, and it's really, really unfortunate, because I think they are doing something really special and they're having fantastic stories, fantastic workers, and they've created such a great fan base for themselves as well. So it's really unfortunate to see that they are having to go on hiatus, but hopefully they're just going to come back bigger and better than ever with Nightshade as their champion. And yeah, hopefully come, I think they're having at least a year-long hiatus. So hopefully come 2026, they can return and be one of the biggest on the UK scene. And I absolutely see that happening for them. And there's a lot of special matches you can also go and watch on YouTube from Pro Wrestling East. They put out almost their entire catalogue onto YouTube, and I've had some bangers there. So, you can go and watch me win the championship off of Charlie Morgan. Spoiler alert. You can watch me wrestle 3 men in a gauntlet match. That this is one of the things with East. They weren't afraid to push the boundaries. Some places they just put the women against the women, whereas I've been there wrestling every Tom, Dick and Harry, honestly. So it's been so much fun to get in there and beat up the guys and to get that opportunity to work with the guys, because I don't very often get intergender opportunities. And I've had so much fun working there, and I feel like it's really brought out a new layer to Nightshade.
Absolutely. East, I hear a lot about it. I hear it from Sunshine Machine when they were on, and Fight or Flight, which Skye O'Shur and Bo Bellows, they both talked about how East was such a fun experimenting ground for them to really try and have fun with new things. And I hope to see the company, when it does return from its year-long hiatus, still kicking and doing great things for the rest of the British scene as well. Now, obviously, Nightshade as well, we did touch upon All In coming back here as well, but obviously there's a Dynamite and Collision taping happening in Cardiff. And sometimes we see AEW bring in local talent to face some of their stars in the ring. So let's say hypothetically, maybe they want to bring in Nightshade or Lampshade for a match against somebody on the AEW roster. Is there anyone particular you would like to have a little bit of a showcase with at a Dynamite or Collision taping?
Oh, I don't know. But again, literally anyone. Literally any girl on that roster, I would be so happy. So happy to wrestle, Yeah, honestly, anyone. I think I would be really interested to wrestle Willow, because I think we both have a similar sort of sort of moveset. We have even though I'm the dark, the dark version. I think that would be a really interesting match, and it would be so great to wrestle someone with a similar moveset to myself and someone that is a bit more evenly matched. I think that could be a really, really, really great match. But honestly, I would take on any girl on that AEW roster.
Well, it may be the land of the elite, but it will probably be shaded with night and become the land of the deadly one if Nightshade steps in that company. But Nightshade, it's been a pleasure to have you back here on the Soul Sessions 1 year ago to the day. So the final question I want to propose to you, let's say a year from now, you're back here on the show. What 3 things would you like to achieve within wrestling in that 1 year time frame?
Oh, you're always giving the hard questions, honestly.
I'm good sometimes. I'm good.
I would like to achieve another tour of Japan.
Okay.
Because, like I said, it's my favorite place to wrestle. I just love it so much. So another tour of Japan. I would like always. I'd like no injuries. I mean, I feel like I shouldn't even be putting that in the categories of the 3. But I think when you are doing something like this, it's such high risk.
Mhm.
And, you know, I've been unfortunately injured in the past, and you see a lot of your favorite wrestlers injured. So no injuries, please. And I would really love to have had like a tryout, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah. I've never said it like publicly, you know, but like honestly, I would really love to have had a big tryout. So I think those are my 3. But getting injured doesn't really count, but it's always there. Do you know what I mean? Like I think every single wrestler, it's always there, unfortunately. So
always in the back of the mind, because you never want anything like that to happen. But a tryout, I mean, TNA have done gut checks in the past in the UK. WWE do sometimes do their tryouts, and who knows for AEW, maybe we could see you as a bodyguard restraining the CEO against Britt Baker. I mean,
let's do it.
That would be fun. Well, Nightshade, thank you for coming here back on the Soul Sessions. And folks, if you love what you've heard of the Deadly One, I will include her Instagram link down below. Click on that. Remember the Patreon as well for the signed PWI that will be going up later. So go for that Patreon as well. Well, folks, who knows what will happen in the future? Will I be wearing a lamp with a bottle of tequila at a Rev Pro?
Yes.
Well, only time will tell. Folks, down your pints, put your chairs away, and thank you for joining in for another episode of the Soul Sessions.